I also pulled the top 5 for the fantasy offense defense because that's going to be different because that also takes other things into factor, like not just the yardage, sacks,
interceptions,
stuff like that. So offensively, number 1 or let's go number 5 would be the Robot Masters with about 767 points. They've got a pretty good offense if you think about it. I mean, I think they stay under the radar.
Statistic-wise, they do have a pretty good offense, but they're in a fairly they've had a tough schedule up to this point. I think they've had to play a lot of teams a lot tougher than they are. They've been able to hold their own though. Maybe they can use those offensive tools to turn their season around.
Yeah, and they're on that bubble, man.
On the bubble,
they could bounce. So, but they got to take on the Defenders, who's my number 4 fantasy offensive team with 770, only 3 points separating those two, and that's a really hard division there. But the more you score, the more you're making points, so it makes sense that 2 of those would be up there.
Yeah,
just like the Care Bears here at number 3, 785 yards. They were also in the top Tecmo offenses, and that makes sense because we knew they were going to score lots of points.
Yep.
And the Beer Gods are right above them, only 2 points above them at number 2. So it's funny here because it seems like good offenses breed other good offenses.
Absolutely.
Where you were saying you're kind of in a defensive division, good defenses breed good defenses.
Absolutely.
Unless you're Dr. Teeth, then you just throw in interceptions everywhere. But number 1 here, fantasy point-wise, is the Azrothian Assassins at 788, and they're one of those teams that's on that bubble.
On the bubble. They find a way to spread the ball out to a lot of different players, too. There's not one star of that team. Malfurion Stormrage catches balls at least once a game. And then you've got, Arthas Menethil.
Yeah, he's the quarterback.
Quarterback throwing the ball out there.
They've had some injuries, though. Windrunner,
I believe, is injured at the moment.
He got injured, but I think they've had other injuries, too. But
I'm pretty sure their playbook plays between the 2 quarterbacks anyway, so I don't think that's impacted their running game very much.
You said cornerbacks, didn't you? I thought you said quarterbacks. I was like, what? They don't got 2 quarterbacks out there.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, with Menethil out there, sometimes he seems like he's 2 different quarterbacks, so he's amazing. He's great. So defensive wise, number 5 is the Beer Gods with 71 points, and I mean we've sung their praises. A guy I don't think we did sing praises that Dave would kill me if I didn't talk about is Arrogant Bastard.
Oh yeah,
he's the number 1 sacker.
He's been getting a lot of sacks. He gets through offensive lines pretty easily. Looks like he's got some pretty beefy. What is that? Head. He's got some beefy head going on that.
Beefy head. He's an arrogant bastard is what he is. Number 4 here is the Tolkien Tecmo Heroes. They have 72 points. They were up in the other one. The Whovians make an appearance here at number 3 with 75 points. I think they're very underrated.
Their defensive line is
legendary, really.
Really is. Cyberman, Headless Monk, coming off of, the left side there.
Oh, yeah. You got the Weeping Angel in there,
multiple Weeping Angel coming up the middle. Multiple teams each week just get overrun by that defensive line, and it's starting to pay off.
Matt Smith, David Tennant, they're out there catching them interceptions. They're blocking them balls. It's a great defense. I would say that the Whovians' defense is the greatest defense of all time, Tecmo-wise.
Well,
and I have no ulterior reason to say that.
Not at all.
A team that sucks and I hate is the Galactic Defenders at number 2 here. You like that segue?
Yeah, I can agree with you on that too. They're a terrible team, but somehow they're not terrible on the field.
No, yeah, he sucks. I hate him.
Yeah.
Arrogant bastard.
8-bit Brigade, though, has the best fantasy scoring
a lot of interceptions. You got the Contra boys out there, and they are picking off them balls.
Yep.
And so he's getting lots of points there. And the defense is, I don't think one guy just gets the credit either. I think that they've worked very well as a video game unit.
Absolutely.
So I took all those numbers into a machine, and it takes the Tecmo rankings, and it takes the fantasy rankings, and it spits out what the best teams are right now. So the best teams, we're gonna start from number 1 and go down here. The best offenses. Number 1 is the Beer Gods.
Okay.
Number 2 is the Care Bears. 3 is the Azrothian Assassins. 4 is the Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. 5 is the Defenders. 6 is the WWF Superstars. 7 is the Robot Masters. 8 is Marvel Combat. 9 is the Pounders. And 10 is the All-American Alcoholics. So what do you think about that list?
That sounds about right. I mean, that's a pretty good snapshot of the league at this point, at least offensively. Yeah, let's see what it says for defense.
I mean, defenses, we got the Defenders, number 1. The 8-Bit Brigade, number 2. Supernatural Demons, number 3. The Tolkien Tecmo Heroes, number 4. Whovians at number 5. Your favorite team, the Florida Gators, at number 6. The Beer Gods at number 7. Greek Legends, number 8. Azerothian Assassins, number 9. And I made it a 10 list so you could sneak in here at the WWF Superstars at number 10. So, and then overall, taking those rankings and combining them like Captain Planet, the best teams right now is you got the Defenders, the Beer Gods, the Assassins, the WWF Superstars, Whovians, Turtles, Supernatural Demons, Marvel Combat, All-American Alcoholics, Robot Masters, 8-Bit Brigade, Cleveland Steamers, Tolkien Tecmo Heroes, and the Greek Legends. So what's interesting about this list here?
I'm going to say what sticks out to me is the Robot Masters being so high on that list. Where were they?
They're sneaking in there, man.
Number 10. 10th best team in the league. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I think, and he's in a hard division, man. The Pounders, the Defenders, the Chumps, and even the Slouches, man. Like, those teams are really grind nose teams, as I like to call them. They like to grind their nose and score lots of points and make a lot of stuff happen. But it's like you also said, good offenses breed good offenses, and we know that the Defenders have a good offense, and they have a good defense. So good defenses breed good defenses, I assume, too.
Absolutely. So, well, we're looking at pretty much the same teams we were talking about being in the playoffs at this point. So,
no, well, what's shocking here, this is what I was thinking was surprising, is 2 teams are noticeably missing, which are the Boxhead Capers and the New World Order. Those guys are currently wild card guys if the season ended, but they don't even make the top 14 teams.
Well, if you look, the one common thing I think I see with both of those teams is where they do have one outstanding player at running back. The quarterbacks are prone to making terrible mistakes and multiple mistakes per game.
So, it reminds me of the Cleveland Steamers, and they rank they're 12th, so they almost didn't make the cut on this list. If I'd have made this a top 10, they wouldn't have made it. And, they are very similarly constructed teams. It's kind of weird because I would bunch in the Turtles in there too, but they seem to use Leonardo a lot more, and whoever that tight end is, I'm gonna get shit for it.
It's a matter of play selection.
So you think the plays there help, because they are handing it off to the Turtle, but NWO has that same roundabout, but Hogan just doesn't seem like he can run like he used to.
Yeah, well, I think that's why they were pretty glad the Giant got in there for a while. While Hogan was injured.
He's getting that big money contract, and he thought he was going to sit out all season and get paid. Eric Bischoff, I bet he called a hit on Hogan.
It's possible.
Swerve.
It's possible. I wouldn't put it past Bischoff.
Could we see Hogan back in the WWF Superstars? There's more to come on that story. So, but yeah, that's a mid-season review, kind of saying where we're at. Every team has had 9 games, so there's 7 more left. So really, like I said, 9 and 7 is really kind of wild card territory. You might need a good tiebreaker. 8 and 8 might get you in too. You need a good tiebreaker for those.
Yeah, I think the.
But if you get to 10 wins, that's what
10 wins, you're into playoffs.
So